Welcome back or welcome to my channel. My name is Carlie. This is where we talk about everything that I'm making on, and about 99% of the time it is knitting. Today we will also have another knitting podcast style episode. I have a couple of finished objects to share with you all, one WIP and some plans of what else I want to knit this coming summer, and then a little bit of yarn acquisitions as well. So we'll just get started right away. Okay, let's start with our finished objects. I actually don't have one of them with me because I had already gifted it. This is a test knit by Noelle Knits, and it is called the Viola Tee. So this is a children's pattern. I made the size 2 to 3 years old, and it is in fingering weight yarn. I used a sock yarn, some sock yarn that I had in my stash. So I did, for the main color, I did Life in the Long Grass Hearth, and then the scalloped edges for the contrast, I did Irish Linen by Ancient Art Yarns. So I'll put up some pictures of the finished product here. I'm happy to report that it fits my niece perfectly. And it was a really quick, easy, fun knit. This was my first time doing stranded color work. And it was just a great way to try out color work because it was just on the sleeves and the bottom. And I think it went really well. I was pleased with my tension and carrying over the yarn. It was also my first time doing a folded hem, which was on the sleeves and the body. I really love that finishing. I think it gives it a really nice professional look. And it was nice and stretchy still too, which I loved, especially when you're, putting it over little kids and trying to dress them. That stretch is extremely important. So overall, I'm very pleased with this. This is linked down below to my project page if you want more info, and the pattern is not released yet, but I believe it will be released sometime next week. So if you're interested in that, keep an eye open for it. The pattern will be linked to my project page once it's live, so you could also find it that way. So there's not much else to say about that Viola Tee. I followed it exactly to pattern. It went really smoothly. It was really clear. I thought it was a perfect little pattern, and I actually am already thinking of other versions to make. I kind of want to do like a cotton linen blend one, just to make it a little bit more wearable for summer, since I did choose a sock yarn. If I were to do that, I don't know if I would do the scalloped edges, but it is just like a really nice t-shirt design for young kids too. Oh, and one thing that I forgot to mention is what I'm wearing today. Off the top of my head, I can't remember what it's called because I made this years ago, but this is a crochet top. It's a free pattern, I believe, and it's got a cute little dragonfly in the front and the back, and some tie straps here. And I did this in a bamboo yarn. Again, I can't remember what the yarn is because this was years ago, but I actually want to wear my next finished object that I'm going to show, but it is just way too hot today and I don't have AC in here, so I'm cooking and I needed something a little bit lighter and breezier to wear, and not a t-shirt with a high neck. So anyways, that leads us to our next object to talk about, and this too is a test knit. So this was the Wood Anemone Tee by Sari Nordlund. I tested this for her, and the pattern was just released last Friday, so it is out and available now, and it is linked down below. I made mine in a cotton linen blend using Juniper Moon Zooey in the colorway Sage, and here she is. So I am so pleased with this. This is my first circular yoke pattern that I've done. First time doing bobbles. And yeah, I think it turned out really well. So this is blocked, all good to go. I'll actually put some pictures in of, we'll do pre-blocking here and then post-blocking here. And I'll leave them up just for a little bit so you can see the difference and how it really helped with the lace pattern. And lace is so fun too, because then you can really just see how it grows and you can get more of that definition after blocking. But what this is a folded neckline. It's half twisted rib, and it's, yeah, half twisted rib all the way down. I did a tubular bind off. I followed it exactly to pattern. There's nothing really much else to say about this. I do have in my notes under my project page of what needle sizes I used to get gauge. I think I used this 4mm for the body, and then 3.75 for the ribbing. Or no, it was maybe 3.75 for the yoke, and then 4 for the body, something like that. It's all in my notes if you're interested. And I did talk about this before, and this wasn't, it calls for a DK or like a light worsted weight yarn. And at the yarn store, this yarn wasn't really with the DK, but online it said it was DK. It's kind of one of those yarns where it's thin and thick, thin and thick. So the thick parts seemed like worsted to me, and then the really thin parts were like just below DK, in my opinion. So I decided to risk it and try this yarn. After a couple of swatches, I did get gauge with the 4mm, and so I felt comfortable moving forward with it. And it is 100% like cotton / linen, so it is like a nice summery breezy top, which is what I wanted. It still like feels thicker at times just because of this double folded collar. I like the look of it, but I don't know. Well, actually I've only worn it for pictures. I haven't worn it out yet just because it's been really, really hot here. But I don't know, I'll keep you all updated on what it's like wearing it in the summer. Again, I just like haven't chosen to wear it because of the heat, but maybe it'll be okay. It is breezy with all of these little eyelets in there, so possibly it could work. But really love this color. The yarn is nice to work with overall. It is a bit splitty if that bothers you, but it didn't seem to affect my knitting too much. Just something to consider. I did do some finished object photos for the release of this pattern, so I'll put some up here to show you. I've also put one of them on my Instagram, and I'm trying to be really good with posting all of my finished objects on there. So if you're interested, I'll put my Instagram on the screen as well, and you can follow along. So this was also my first Sari Nordlund pattern, and I've always, you know, you see her around a lot. I've always been interested in trying some of her patterns, so I was very pleased with this. The pattern was like so easy to follow and well written, and I would make this again. I mentioned earlier in my previous episode that the baubles made my hands really hurt, and I did not enjoy making the baubles. And one of you suggested that I do the baubles next time with a crochet hook. So thank you so much for that suggestion. Definitely wish I had remembered that that's something you can do while I was doing this. But yeah, because I really do love the look of baubles. I think they're beautiful. It is just kind of a more time-consuming thing. But if I do come across a pattern later that I can't resist and it has baubles, I think I am going to be trying the crochet bauble method. So just one last look. I could look at this one all day long. But I highly recommend this pattern if you're looking for a fun circular yoke. I would make this again. My next version, I think I actually would love to make this again really soon. I think I would just omit the baubles and just have this nice leafy motif. And baubles to me, maybe it's just me, but baubles to me is kind of like a wintry thing. And I don't really associate baubles to summer patterns. And so that's why I was very particular about the yarn I chose for this, because I did not want it to feel Christmassy at all. And I kind of got that vibe when I pictured it with other yarns. And so I didn't want a wool version. I wanted something light. I was very particular about the color. I didn't want it to be anything that represented fall or winter or Christmas. So I think this sage was a good call, and I am pleased with like the fibers, how they do look really summery. So that is my Wood Anemone Tee by Sari Nordlund. Oh, and I did size 1. All of my information is in my project page, which is linked down below, and the pattern is out now. So if you're interested, you could get those on the needles right away too. Okay, that's it for finished objects. I have my next WIP here, and I haven't, oh no, I have shown this here before. So this is my next test knit that I'm working on. And if this is your first time at this channel, basically what happened is I went a little crazy with test knits and I applied to a ton all on one night, and then I just happened to get accepted to the ones I applied to because I was like one of the first to apply. And so yeah, that that action like filled up my calendar right away, because now I'm just really busy with test knits, which is good. It creates some structure, and I've been wanting to test knit for a while. So then anyway, all my projects right now are test knits. So my next one is the Vine Tee by Athena Liu. I am using Cascade Pima cotton here. I don't have the tag here, but it's just, it looks really shiny in the light, but it's just like a really nice neutral cream. And then I'm using this mystery yarn from Japan. I'm pairing them together, and it is just creating the most lovely speckled little piece of fabric here with all of these pastel blues, pinks, oranges, yellows. There's some browns in there. There's some greens. From far away, it looks really pretty. It's just perfectly evenly speckled when I pair the two together. Now it's looking pretty teeny, but I did try it on today and it is a perfect fit. I'm doing size 1. It is a top-down raglan, and the raglan increases have the most beautiful vine design with little eyelets and some really simple cabling. It's on the front and the back, and when you join for the body, it becomes this kind of like double vine down the side here. So I really love the detail on each side. I think it's gonna be something like different from anything else that I've made so far. There is shaping in this, so the back is quite a bit higher, which is nice. And when I tried it on, it was a really nice fit. It just was very, I don't know, you didn't have to adjust it at all. Like with the shaping at the back, with it being higher, it was like, it just fit like a glove. It was perfect. I said before that I was going to do the split hem version. So by now, I should be split and then work the front and back, but I actually decided to do the non-split version, I think. And I'm just gonna work the body a little bit more. This is due soon. I've got a lot of knitting to do. But anyways, I'm almost done with my test knit, so I have all my attention focusing on this. With the sleeves, it is just like a straight sleeve and then a folded sewn down hem. So I have to do that still, and the sleeves go down to about here. This kind of fabric does grow with blocking. Here's my swatch. and it grew a little bit. So I am expecting this to get a little bit roomier and looser and just kind of like more drapey after blocking, as that happened with the swatch here. I was so pleased with this swatch just because of those like speckles. And yeah, if you've been around here for a little while anyways, you know that this yarn, I was just didn't really know what to do with it. And then when I found this yarn, it was kind of a no-brainer to pair it together. And it's kind of like confetti cake, I guess, which doesn't at all go with a vine motif, but whatever. It's pretty, it's fun. Sometimes you get like really big pinks, which is just makes me really happy. There's one over here too. One pink there. So I've just been keeping my progress the last couple of days. It's really hard to see anything with this speckled yarn, but not much else to say. I'm just following it exactly to pattern. It's really fun and engaging. You get a lot of the just straight stockinette on the front and back, and then a little bit of interest while you go over the little vine cabling. So if you're new to cabling, I highly recommend this one. It's super simple. It's not difficult at all to get. It's a good way to introduce yourself into cabling, I would say. I've only done cabling once before, and it was like a big chunky sweater that I did for a gift knit last Christmas. And that was my first time cabling. And I think cabling is just like a lot easier than it looks, in my opinion. I don't enjoy the process of it too much, but I do like the look of it. And with this one, it's not too much cabling. Again, it's just the side, so it's kind of the perfect amount of cabling for me. Or yeah, if you're someone that also doesn't enjoy cabling too much, but like the look of it and want to do like a raglan that's a little more spiced up than your usual raglans, then this is also a really good option. This one, I'll have my project page linked down below as well. The pattern is not released yet. It should be in the next week or so, but definitely keep your eye out for this one too. It's a great summer knit. And you could do lots of different versions. Like there is the split, so you can get some nice air in there. It's nice and breezy. And then you could also do shorter sleeves. When I tried this on with just this cap sleeve, I loved it so much. And if I wasn't testing, I would be kind of like inclined to just maybe end it there, because sometimes I love a good cap sleeve, and it looked so good. And it would even look good just like a short sleeve too. With the sleeves, I do believe there's some increasing to make it go out a little bit, and I do love a sleeve like that. But if I were to make any in the future again, I think I would try and do just like a version like this. It looked so cute when I tried it on, and I should have taken a picture, but I forgot. And I believe the designer Athena is also doing a tank top version of this, designing one right now, so that's another one to look out for. Yeah, this one, it's been really enjoyable so far, and it is DK weight yarn, so it goes and it's up pretty quickly. I'm just really excited to have this one in my wardrobe, and I think a huge part of that is just the yarn combination. I can't get enough of it, and I'm really, really excited to take finished object photos of this once it's done, to just see how it wears. And I think it would look nice paired with like some faded jeans or something like that. But yeah, not much else to say about this. I'll keep you all updated by the next episode. This will be done. It has to be done since it's a test knit. So I'll show you all that, and I will post on Instagram when that is done too. So that's all that I'm working on right now, being that the deadline is fast approaching. I'm putting all my time and energy into that, so I don't have any other WIPs for you. However, last episode I shared some acquisitions with you all. One of them being the cattail silk from Pearl Soho. And I had mentioned that I absolutely hated the color, so I'll put the color on screen, or the picture on screen of what I received. And when I bought this online, so I looked online. I knew it was a vibrant green. And this is the colorway Midori, by the way. And it was a vibrant green, and I was comfortable with that. But then when I received it, it kind of looked more like a neon teal, and teal's not a color I enjoy looking at all. So I was thinking about it for a while, and I did get some suggestions on the last video, so thank you so much for those. Some people suggested like pairing it with another color yarn to maybe tone it down. And I was thinking about that, but I wasn't kind of sure what I would pair it with, and some suggested over dyeing. And so I decided to go with the over dye option. And I basically used the leftover dye I had a dye bath, and I hand dyed my own yarn, and I showed it in the previous episode, and it created a nice green color. I'll quickly put a picture up here. So I saved that dye bath. I reused that water and added a bit more hollyhocks to it, a bit more dried hollyhocks to it. And I let it sit in there overnight. And now we have this color. So I'll put the old one up for reference and we can compare it to this one. So I think I successfully got rid of all of that teal blue tone, and we've just got like a dark forest green now. I wasn't sure how this was going to work out, being that I didn't know how this was dyed before, and I was over dyeing it with dried flowers, and I didn't know how strong that would be able to like attach and adhere and actually soak into this already like very vibrant color. So I'm happy with it. I've washed this out several times. There's no bleeding. The water's running clear, and it remained this color. So there is some variation, as you can see, like very slightly. But I think that'll just add some nice depth to the fabric for whatever I decide to knit up with this. I am much happier with this color. I'm glad that this skein didn't go to waste, or I didn't waste money on it, and now I can use it. I do have a pattern in mind, and it's a Sari Nordlund pattern. I'll throw it up here because I forget what it's called. It is an older pattern. But I kind of wanted to do like a short sleeve version of this, and this is silk, so I thought this would be a great summer garment as well. Nice lightweight piece, and it's dark yarn, but it's not too dark where you would lose the detail and the texture of this pattern, I think anyway. So I think it would be a good match. Overall, I'm really pleased with the outcome of this. I think it turned out really well. I did do a first little dye experiment with this. Let it sit overnight once. And then when I washed it out, I let it dry, I looked at it, and it still had a bit of that bright neonish in there from that teal. So I did a second round of it, and I just added the teeniest bit more of hollyhock in there and just let it sit overnight again. And I'm so glad I did that, just because it came out a lot better the second time around. Yeah, so that was a fun little experiment. I did not know what I was going to get. I was actually expecting a more muddier color, even maybe like purple, like a dark purpley grayish brown color. I thought it was going to be a lot muddier, but it just turned out to kind of be this forest green. So that's fun, because I was buying green online, and now I have actual green. So I feel good about that. I feel like I didn't waste my money, or have to give away a skein. I also mentioned in the last episode that it was my local yarn store's 5th birthday, and they were having a big sale and cupcakes and knitting day, and I did head over there. So they had this huge section that was 50% off, and I did pick up some stuff. So I picked up this Queensland collection. It's the Dungarees paint, It's spun from recycled jeans. So it's 95% cotton and then 5% of other fibers. And it's just kind of like speckled. I believe this is a fingering weight yarn. Let's see. It's 100 grams and 339 yards. So I got a few of these and I was thinking, at first I was thinking, should I make another Helianthus tank? That would be fun, but I already do have one. So then I was also thinking, is it the Moonset tee, Ozetta's recent pattern of the shirt? I'll just put a picture up here. I was thinking this could be really fun because it's just got so many colors. It would look, I think it would make a cool fabric, and it's cotton. It'd make a nice shirt. So I got that, and yeah, all of this was 50% off. It was so hard to resist, but I only left with 5 skeins. 3 of these and then 2 of this, which is the Anchor Bay by Cascade Yarns. It's 50% cotton, 50% superwash merino wool. And it's just a nice beige neutral that I thought I could use. The Ingrid top I thought could be a good option for that. It's almost like the exact same color as the sample that she knit hers in. But then I found this really cute little like cardigan, short sleeve cardigan wrap, and I'll put a picture up here. It was really cute, and I think I would have enough yarn using this, and this is a nice color I think for a cardigan wrap. It would go with a lot of things in my wardrobe. So that is an option. I also thought I could make another little garment for my niece, another summer garment. There's just too many options here. So I'm not sure. Oh, and I also picked up these stitch markers. It's from Fox and Pine Stitches, and they're just cute little squares, little like brass squares. I really love those. I love the gold. Oh, there we go. I love the gold and the brass stitch markers, or rose gold too. I'm always drawn to those ones. And they just always look good with the colors that I'm knitting with. It's kind of fun to like pick out things that are aesthetically pleasing to you while you're knitting the garment, like nice stitch markers and nice project bags. It kind of just makes the whole thing even more fun than it already is. I believe that's all I have to share with you all. I know also yesterday it was Worldwide Knit in Public Day. I actually didn't get to knit out in public yesterday, but I did stop by a yarn store. Sorry, I just got a message and got distracted. Right, I forgot. I did stop by a yarn store yesterday, one in Calgary that I have not been to, and it is Little Bow Fiber Company. So in just honor of the Knit in Public Day, I went to a yarn store, and I'm still looking for a sock combination to make for my dad for Christmas, and he wanted purple, so I found some purple sock yarn there, and I'll go get that. Okay. So this is Brine Dye Works. This is your 75-25 merino sock. Now this to me is like a nice muted plummy purple. My partner thinks it's like red, and I really hope it's not red. To me it's plum. So, and then I also got this Brine Works Nori in just a mini skein, and I thought these would look really nice together to knit up socks for my dad. So I do cuff, heel and toe in brine. The rest of I'll just do a vanilla sock in this plum. I thought it was a nice pairing, kind of like a nice masculine colorway there. So I got that just in honor of Knit in Public Day. I told myself I wasn't gonna buy yarn. I was just gonna go get stitch markers. But I did come across what I think is a perfect purple for my dad. Please tell me this is plum, you guys. Let me get closer. It's kind of brown too. I just think it has a very subtle hint of plum. Anyways, in my eyes, from what I see, I think this would make a good pairing. So I hope everybody had a fun Knit in Public Day if you participated, and if not, hopefully you had some good knitting in there, if that was in public or not. I love little things like that, even though I didn't actually knit in public, but it's just so fun to have a community like this and to all get together and do things like that, and to share a craft and to keep spreading it around, because it is such an amazing thing to do with your time, in my opinion. I think that's all for today. I'll leave it there. I am excited to show my vine tee when it's done, and yeah, I'll talk to you all next time. Bye.